Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Okay. Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Ande Engelman. Sam will be back on Monday. Before Scott Craigie and I interview today's first guest, I want to give you a little background information. Las Vegas Assemblyman Wendell Williams was chairman of the Education Committee. As such, he was one of the most powerful legislators there. If he was unhappy, the university's requested laws could go into a desk drawer and never be seen again. He held them in the palm of his hand. Williams is a lawmaker who knows how to use power. When Williams' wife overheard an official at the Community College of Southern Nevada refer to her by using a racial epithet, she threatened a lawsuit. The official was fired, but Williams' wife still sought compensation. At the start of the legislative session, Chancellor Jane Nichols agreed to a $49,000 settlement with Mrs. Williams, even though the Attorney General had recommended no more than $5,000. Following the settlement, Assemblyman Williams asked John Cummings, the community college lobbyist, to hire a female friend of his. Cummings did so, but following the legislative session discovered that she had lied on her resume. Then he tried to fire her. But instead, Williams went to Chancellor Jane Nichols, who stopped the termination, and hired an investigator to look into the matter. Following a closed-door meeting held by the Board of Regents to receive the investigator's report, John Cummings and his boss, President Ron Remington, were demoted. They weren't even allowed to hear the charges made against them, nor were they allowed to say why they had reason for doing these things. The only person allowed into that closed meeting, besides the regents and their attorneys, was the Chancellor. Today, we talk to Chancellor Jane Nichols and find out why Cummings and Remington were demoted while Williams' friend, who lied on her resume, is still employed. It's all coming up next on Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Ande Engelman.
And joining us this morning, we have the Chancellor of the University System, Jane Nichols, and Regent Doug Hill. Thank you both for being with us this morning. I commend you, Jane.
Good morning.
A month ago, you told me you would be here today, and
yes,
you
I
are
did.
here. You kept your word. And,
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that. Let me start right away with the settlement question, Jane. The Attorney General and Tom Ray both recommended that you not settle with Wendell Williams' wife for more than $5,000. But sometime during the start of the legislative session, you ended up settling for $49,000?
That is correct. The decision to try to seek a settlement was one that had been talked about for a long time, thought about for a long time in terms of the welfare of the college. The president recommended to me that this needed to be settled, that the community was very concerned about it. We knew that the costs of the litigation and a trial would be substantial. On advice of the president, I certainly supported going ahead and making that settlement. You have to remember there was never a question that the event occurred.
Right.
And the attorneys felt we can win this one and we can get it for less. But the damage to the college over time for this dragging on and on for a racist comment did not seem worth it at the time.
So you did this at the recommendation of President Ron Remington?
Yes, I did.
Is that one of the reasons why he was demoted?
Let me speak to that if I may, because Jane did not have, as Chancellor, did not have a vote and did not do anything.
But she was
for
in the
that.
room.
Yes,
She was in the room, but I will tell you, that had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Well, let's ask the question, what was your role? First of all, did you invite yourself in or did they ask you in? And when you were in there, did you give them any advice? Did you direct them in any way? How many times did you speak to the board? Those are questions I'd like to just kind of hear.
I only was there to listen, and I did think it was absolutely essential that I be there as Chancellor. I had to carry out whatever the board decided. The allegations had to do with policies and rules and conduct in our institutions. My role as Chancellor is to make sure that the rules of the Regents and the laws of the state of Nevada are followed. So I did stay in the room. I did so because I wanted to and because the majority of the Regents wanted me to be there. And you know, I think that my role in that meeting was...
If you don't mind my interrupting, but you just said something that... How do you know a majority of the Regents wanted you to be there?
Well, I think it's been made public that there was actually a vote because some of the Regents did not want me to be there. And so I did stay in the room at the request of the majority of the Regents. My role in that meeting was passive. I was there to listen and to learn. I answered, I think, 2 or 3 questions. That was the extent of my role in that session.
Okay, the action in a closed meeting, of course, is not in compliance with Nevada's open meeting law.
Well, that's not correct. That's not correct.
Excuse me, I helped write the law, Regent.
That's not correct. This was not an action on a substantive matter. It was a procedural
Doesn't
vote.
matter. There's no such thing in the law as a procedural action.
If you have a ruling and then somebody says, I appeal the decision of the chair, every single time you have a ruling on a procedural matter, you'd go out in open session, back into closed.
Right.
Out in
That's
open, back
exactly
in
right.
closed.
Exactly
well,
right.
That's going to be litigated.
That's the intent of the law, and that's the way.
The judge already decided that we hadn't violated the open meeting law.
No, she did not rule on the 10, 12 other points of violations of the open meeting law that exist. She ruled on one issue.
Well, we'll get to find that out.
Well,
when
and
the judge
actually,
does
when we get
decide.
to find that out is a question I want to ask. The investigative reports now have been leaked, we know. We've mentioned on the show to a couple of the newspapers. When are they going to be public? More importantly, when will the tape recording of the hearing be released so that the public and all news agencies and others can hear it and listen?
We have asked that the verbatim transcript be provided as quickly as possible to the attorneys.
But that's going to be weeks before it gets produced.
That takes time to do. The tape is available to the parties involved currently. They have the ability to listen to the tape.
Are you providing them with a copy of it as the law requires?
Yes, we are. Okay. And we will do everything we can to make that available. The 1,000 pages is available now to anyone who chooses to see that document. There's a different issue in what becomes a public document in a closed personnel session related to the tape and and that material that certainly Dr. Remington and John Cummings have the right to have.
And very quickly, in that meeting, did your attorney ever at any point say, before you make a decision on the future of these 2 men, Remington and Cummings, they ought to at least have an opportunity to speak for themselves in this setting? Due process has been talked about a lot afterwards. Now, I've been in a lot of those personnel sessions as a person who heads up Public Utility Commission and other bodies, but was that ever brought up? Where was the attorney on that issue?
Well, the attorney did not get involved in that issue. That was a discussion among board members, and really that was a decision by board members. The president and the Chancellor serve at the pleasure of the board as administrators, and all administrators serve at the pleasure of the President. So that was not a legal issue that the attorney got involved in.
Let me point out, there has been no denial of due process.
I'm sorry, we have to take a break right now.
Okay.
And
We'll be back.
And then we'll be right back to continue this.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis!
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Andy Engelman.
And we're back here this morning with Scott Craigie, my co-host, and Jane Nichols, Chancellor of the University System, and Regent Doug Hill.
Dr. Nichols, you're the one who, on some level, I guess, got this started on the formal level.
Right.
You're the one who asked for the investigation.
That's correct.
Were you asked by Wendell Williams to do the investigation? Were you asked by any other outside group? On some level, it probably at least put it into a formal setting, but it did kick this whole thing off. What prompted you to call for the investigation?
It did indeed. Wendell Williams played an absolutely key role in getting that started by making allegations supporting Ms. Jones and saying that there were things going on at the community college that were breaking every rule, that were inappropriately spending the public dollar, that he attacked and she attacked the very integrity of that institution. And I did feel that under those circumstances I had to order the investigation.
Which is a little bizarre, because wasn't he the one who asked John Cummings to hire her in the first place?
Well, it's never
Or am I
quite,
wrong?
it's a he said, she said. You know, he said John offered, John said he asked. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that the college went out and hired her, sent her to Carson City, inappropriate assignment, inappropriate hiring procedure, and nobody disputes that that happened.
All right, I want to get something clear here if we could. First of all, I understand they were demoted on the grounds of insubordination. That's what was announced publicly.
That was one of the reasons that the regent who made the motion gave.
What constitutes insubordination?
Well, insubordination, I'm not an attorney here, but I think in general it means that you're doing something that is not according to what your superiors would have you do.
Well, was everybody always aware of what their superiors would have them do? Did they know in advance? For instance, we have Senator Rawson, who got money for a dental school at Great Basin College. That was never approved by the Board of Regents. I mean, there were $8 million put into the budget that was nothing that the Regents had asked for, so clearly there were people all over the place getting things for the university.
Let me tell you, that had nothing to do, those issues had nothing to do with the reassignment of Remington and Cummings. Basically what you have is a situation where, and people can argue about this, but the law is very clear. These people, administrators, serve at the pleasure of their superiors.
Well,
and
aren't
they were
supervised
reassigned.
by the Chancellor, and you supervise the Chancellor?
Not
you don't
really.
Supervise,
you
don't supervise John Cummings,
When
for
it comes
instance.
to presidents, the board hires, fires, and can reassign. The Chancellor cannot do that with the president. When it comes to John Cummings, we move to remove him, and we move to direct the next president to reassign John Cummings.
So you are supervising lower echelon employees through directions to the president?
Through direction to the president, you can do that. You may not agree with that, but the fact of the matter is the Board of Regents has control over the entire system pursuant to the state constitution. Now, most matters, we supervise the Chancellor, and the Chancellor supervises the president. You asked me the question last time I was on the board, is who supervises the president and who gives them orders? Sometimes it's the Chancellor, and sometimes, most of the time it ought to be, but a whole lot of other stuff happens.
I want to revisit one of the questions I asked a few minutes ago. When will the investigative report be available to the entire public? When will the cassette tapes of the actual hearing be available to the general public?
You know, I have to say to you, as soon as possible. We are...
What's holding it up, though?
Well, it's simply the logistics of getting, you want copies of those tapes made, you've got to have, I mean, the logistics of doing this. We have a limited staff, we're having to contract for those services to get that done. So I guarantee you, we are doing it as quickly as we can logistically.
You had a very successful legislative session this year, and you centralized the lobbying policy so that everything came out of the Chancellor's office, I assume, I don't know that. And you didn't let all the colleges go in and do that, which has always been the pattern before.
Right.
Was that a decision made by the Board of Regents, by you? Was that centralization theory explained to everybody? Did everybody know that they weren't supposed to go? And obviously it's a central question because one college didn't. And how did they know it? How clearly made to them was it?
It was absolutely clear. We had discussions at several Regents meetings in which the proposal was made for how that would operate. It was my decision. We did hire a external lobbyist and a lobbying firm to work for us who coordinated everything. We talked about it at every meeting of the presidents. It was absolutely clear to everyone. There was no question in any president's mind how that worked during that session of the legislature.
I want to revisit a question too that I asked before. There was an article in the paper that actually said that John Papageorge, who was your lobbyist at the legislature, had recommended to you the settlement with Wendell Williams. You were quoted as saying that.
That is not true. I don't believe I was quoted as saying he recommended it to me. I asked him if there could be a problem of perception settling it in the beginning of the legislature. And because from a political standpoint, I didn't want to be in a difficult position. Right. He said, you know, if you think it's the right thing to do, you should go ahead and do it. And that is what I did.
Because you were worried politically about the power that Assemblyman Williams had as far as your legislation was
I was
concerned.
never worried about the political power that Assemblyman Williams had. You have to keep in mind that for higher education in Nevada, the key issues for us are always finance. Our issues before the Committee on Education, which he chaired, are very minor and very small. And I was not worried about the power of Assemblyman Williams in making that decision.
Very quickly, will the Regents support some law that changes the Regents selection process if it means that the heat over some of this can be cooled down?
You know, until the conduct of some Regents after the last events and following the last events, I was completely against the appointment of Regents. I've got to tell you, the conduct of a number of Regents has been so atrocious, so terrible, so outrageous, that I've gotten to the point that I think appointment is the only alternative, although I am offended by it because I think the people ought to be selecting their representatives.
And real quickly, Chancellor, what's your position on appointment?
Well, it's really not appropriate for the Chancellor. I work for the board, and I will await the vote of the board on that.
Right, and we are out of time. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the Pundit panel.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Ande Engelman.
Here we are in the pundit panel. Not a lot of time, unfortunately. Paul Enos with the Retail Association. Ray Hagar from the Reno Gazette-Journal. Chris Barrett with IWStrategies. Okay, guys, let's jump right in here. Did you believe everything they had to say?
Well, I don't know if it's a matter of believing. I just think there's some more questions that need to be answered. I want to know why Jane Nichols was in the room with the Board of Regents when there were allegations that she was the one who was saving Bridget Jones' job on the behest of Wendell Williams. I mean, those are questions that still need to be answered.
And actually, that's a good point. One of the things that was interesting, she hardly spoke up during the hearing. We all want to hear those tapes, but I was surprised that she didn't participate more, Ray. I thought the media had covered it like she was much more active in that meeting.
Well, my take on this is that let's look at the big picture of what's going on with our elected officials, and it sets up in 04 the year of the angry voter. You have voters already upset with the legislature for the way the tax bill was passed. You have voters upset with the Supreme Court, the way they overturned the tax laws that were already on the books, and now you have a reason for the voters to be upset with the Board of Regents. So everybody, I think, is going to feel the downside of incumbency in 04.
I'm really confused on this issue because what I see in the paper, I wanted to be in this meeting, this person wanted to be in this meeting. Here you have an elected body, the Board of Regents, having a closed meeting, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's done properly, notice, et cetera, but they set the policy and the direction for the university system. I'm confused where it comes to the point of why are staff people who work for the administration wanting to be in administrative procedures when they should be talking about policy.
And what does it say when
mixing apples and oranges here?
When the open meeting law clearly says you may not take action behind closed doors, and these people not only take action behind closed doors, but try to justify it as saying, well, it was a procedural
vote. And
it
goes deeper than that. They're saying that they take the action if they want to do that. I'm not an expert on that. That's why we have an attorney general to do that. But now, if it's a closed action a closed meeting, why all of a sudden they want to release the tapes? They want to release the minutes? If it's closed, it's closed. If you're going to release that information, it should be an open meeting.
It's to cover your butt.
It's a real question of due process for these gentlemen that were disposed with this Star Chamber type of meeting that they had.
It's the fastest growing state in the nation. The university system is one of the most important components for feeding our economy and putting professionals into it. They had the best session they've ever had. 49 other states did less than they did. What's this going to do to the long-term status and funding of the university system?
Well, I think there's going to be a whole lot more questions by the legislature next session of who's in charge over there, what type of leadership do we have there, what type of programs are going for administration,
well, what does it tell
education,
you
et cetera. There's no leadership.
When Senators Kerr and Hard...
Hamadeh or...
No, Hard, when Warren...
Hardy.
Oh, Warren
Hardy.
That's right.
are opening up an investigation into what's going on at the university system.
Well, I think you do need some of that. You do need the legislators are there kind of as the watchdogs. I mean, they hold the purse, and they're the ones who dole out the money to the university. And if they're not happy with what's going on, they have every right to say, hey, we're going to hold some of this back, and we want an investigation. We want to know what's going on before we give you any more cash.
Ray, you're talking to these legislators. What are they telling you? What's their appetite right now for change over there?
Well, I think that your point about being the watchdog of, that's like having the fox in the hen house being the watchdog of government. I mean, they have enough problems of their own. I mean, I don't see many of these people, the way this is all rolling in with this, with all these incumbents. I don't see a lot of these people coming back in 04.
Well, that's why we vote on them, because if we don't like the job they're doing as watchdogs, we throw them out.
That's right, and that's why the Board of Regents should not be an appointed body.
We have to wait 6 years to throw them out right now.
Well, there's a few coming up for election.
Okay, listen, we're going to have to take a break. We'll come right back. And by the way, we're going to talk to John Cummings on Monday. We'll be right back.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best. I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
No, we're not going to touch that. And we're back. Thank you.
We haven't stopped talking.
Yeah, right. As I said, all right, John Cummings is coming on Monday, so we want you all to be with us then. We'll get his side of the story. You had a quick comment
and last thing, Sam Shad, get your honey back to work, Bo. Okay,
and if you celebrate it, I wish you happy Hanukkah. See you on Monday.